This episode is brought to you by Pepsi Wild Cherry. Pepsi Wild Cherry is bursting with delicious cherry flavor and a sweet, crisp taste that gives you more to go wild for. Getting wild may look different these days, but whether it's opting for a solo Friday binge watch or a big night out, everyone can indulge in their wild side with Pepsi Wild Cherry. Also available in Zero Sugar. So grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
TIAA is on a mission. Why? Because 54% of Black Americans don't have enough savings to retire. So in collaboration with big-name artists like Wyclef Jean, TIAA released Paper Right, new music inspiring a new financial future. With 100% of streaming sales going to a nonprofit that teaches students how to invest. Stream Paper Right now and help close the gap.
Maybe I'm just nostalgic, or maybe it's truly magical. Oh, when I see that castle, the feeling is truly magical. Maybe I'm just nostalgic. Maybe it's truly magic. Maybe I'm just nostalgic. Maybe it's truly magic.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Brooke.
And this is a DisNeato podcast.
Tonight we have a guest.
A super guest.
Yeah, and I would say that all three of us are fangirls.
Yeah.
We just kind of spilled the beans on that to him,
100%.
So he's probably a little weirded out. But tonight we have GleefullyTim from Instagram. If you don't follow him, you should. He's hilarious. All of his stories are the highlight of my day. We initially... he
100%
loves it.
Tim. 100%.
So Tim, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to be talking about a little bit of Mary Poppins tonight.
As picked by Tim.
As picked by Tim.
Yay.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, as you just said, I'm GleefullyTim. I'm an actor, musical theater actor, jumping all over the States. And I'm also self-professed Disney fan. So I'm so excited to be here.
And I love that you're drinking with us.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my
God.
gosh,
What
I
is a
love it.
Wednesday without wine?
I know. Or bourbon.
Or vodka.
Or
bourbon and vodka in mine.
One bourbon, one vodka, one wine.
Just really fucking my life up right now.
I love it. We really scoured the board here.
We're adulting. It's okay.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Actually, I think... Oh, nope, it didn't get any better. I thought maybe it would.
Here, have some of this one.
No,
Okay.
I don't want any of that one. Actually, I'll spill that. Okay, so we're talking about Mary Poppins. How many years has it been since Mary Poppins came out? It came out, what, 63?
64.
Quick math. 60,
Yeah, 63, 64.
64 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, 54 years
No,
ago.
1964.
54 years ago then, right?
How old is my mom? Shit.
Yeah, 54 years ago.
Is it 54?
Yes.
I think you're nailing it,
2018
yeah.
minus
54.
65.
I'd say 55. If it came out 63, it'd be 55.
It's 64.
64. Okay, so
50
49.
No.
Oh, no. I'm so fucking dumb. 54.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and edit this.
No, please. It's
No, leave
great
it
to
in.
know.
Listen, I was a journalism major. I
55
didn't do
years.
math.
It's 55 years
55
since it came
years.
out.
Fuck you guys. I was right. 55 years since it came out. Not you, Tim. You're innocent in this.
Thank you so much.
55 years since it came out. I grew up on this movie. I think, obviously, a lot of people did. It's been out for 55 years. It took 20 years for them to make this movie because the author of the book, which some of us didn't know there was a book before the movie, she fought so hard. She didn't want to give up the film rights. So it took them a hell of a long time to actually make this movie. But now it's here. It's great. We have a sequel coming out.
With your boy is in it.
Oh my God, I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. I want to be you. Just be my friend, please. Love him. Tim, what are your thoughts on Lin?
I'm just like moaning over here every time you say his name. I just like let out a guttural.
Yes,
Grinding a little on the couch.
I fucking love him so much.
I'm obsessed. He's a musical genius. He's an absolute genius, and
Yes, he is.
not just like Hamilton, but In the Heights and 21 Jump Street and all those other, pieces are ingenious. And
Moana?
I'm so glad that Disney hopped on him and grabbed him for Moana and now for this. I'm like slightly not worried. Worried is not the right word. I'm surprised that they cast him in this role, but I don't doubt Lin. I don't doubt him. So.
I got really excited at the Oscars when he was on the red carpet and they were asking him about that. They're like, "Oh, you're going to be a Mary Poppins. Did you write the music? Like, how are you going to put hip hop into it?" And he's like, "Well, I didn't write the music." He goes, "But he's like, credit where credit's due. Dick Van Dyke spits some bars during Jolly Holiday with Mary. Like, he spits a rap in the middle of that musical."
I am so excited for the sequel. I've purposely not watched all of the trailers. I know there's like 2 or 3. There's like the teaser and then like 2 full-length trailers. And I've only watched the one because I just don't want to give myself any sort of expectation for it.
Yeah.
Yes, same.
Just because I think because Mary Poppins is a classic, so many people are going to be ready to compare this new one to the original. And I just don't want to do that. I want to let it be its own thing and just have no expectations and enjoy it for whatever it will be.
I think I told you though that when I saw, because I go to the movies like every week, and
like
while
every
I was
other day.
when I was at the movies
day.
and I saw the first long trailer for this, and there's just a shot where it says and also featuring Dick Van Dyke, and it's Dick Van Dyke doing like a little soft shoe on a desk, and I cried.
So old and cute.
I teared up. I was like, "Oh my god, he's in it!"
Matt is the emotional.
But I'm with you on this same boat. I'm not watching any trailers because I don't want any preconceived notions. I don't want to compare it because it is so ingrained in us. We watched it as we were kids growing up, so it's like it's part of us. And I think that's why Julie Andrews, being the classy bitch she is, passed on being in the sequel. Right? I think she said in that interview, she was like, "I'm not interested. This is Emily Blunt's movie. She was perfect for this, and I don't want to overshadow her. I don't want to steal any thunder." If she's could not be any more practically perfect in every way, wink, wink.
She's such a class act, and I was actually very relieved she wasn't in it because I feel like if she were in it, then I would just look at Emily Blunt like, "You fake ass bitch, you're not the real Mary," because I see her there. So I'm glad she's not in it. I am excited Dick Van Dyke's in it, though. I think he'll give it a nice little personal touch. It'll kind of bring back some of that nostalgia and sentimentality of the first film. So I think that's a nice touch. And
I hope he plays Bert. I hope that he is literally playing Bert to
I'm sure he will.
to show that Bert aged and Mary Poppins didn't.
No, he's not.
For that comparison.
He's not Bert.
He's not?
Bert?
No, he's the banker's son.
Oh.
The original
I mean, that
banker's
works
son.
too, because he did play the banker.
Yeah,
You're ruining everything.
I'm pretty sure I saw that on a red carpet
spoiler
interview.
alert.
The banker who
I'm
died
sorry.
from laughing.
Sorry, it's on the internet.
Yeah, that's
Probably
dark
wrong.
shit.
And Meryl Streep, casually throwing in Meryl Streep in there too.
Why not? Why not?
I'm stoked for that one.
So
She can do no wrong.
What is she in that? Wait, what is she in that one?
She's like her cousin or something, right?
I don't even know what she is.
I've
I don't
looked
know.
into very little.
I told you I've been trying to avoid too much of it, so I'll find
Little
out.
Devil Wears Prada nostalgia.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Can't
Emily
wait.
Blunt could hit me with a bus and I would thank her,
Thank you. Yes,
Honey, thank you so much.
that was so sweet. Pull over Gina George. Just be like, I love this.
Yes.
Tim, you specifically asked us to talk about Mary Poppins. Obviously, very timely with the sequel coming out. But I would love to hear why you wanted to talk about it, what the film means to you, your thoughts, and all that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I grew up with Mary Poppins, but really with the Sound of Music, right? Everybody grew up with the Sound of Music. Every theater kid grew up with Sound of Music. And we all have this love for Julie Andrews. She could murder your mom and you would forgive her and it would be fun,
she'd just be my new mom.
You'd help her.
Yeah, she would take your... Yeah, oh my God. What a fantastic idea. But really, so then seeing Mary Poppins and watching how Julie Andrews got her start into film. Here, I'm going to nerd out for 3 seconds. You probably already know this, but here's the deal why I'm really obsessed with this movie. Because Julie Andrews was originating My Fair Lady on Broadway, and they decided to make My Fair Lady into a movie. And they said, Julie, you're not famous. We don't want you in this movie. We're going to cast Audrey Hepburn instead. And of course, she was super upset, but that gave her space in her calendar for something else. And Disney approached her and said, we got this movie. It's called Mary Poppins. We think you're perfect for it. And then she was like, I'm so sorry. I'm 3 months pregnant. I can't do it. And they said, we'll wait. So they wait a whole year for her, right? And then she does the movie, and what goes head to head at the Oscars but My Fair Lady and Mary Poppins, and Julie Andrews walks away with a leading actress Oscar.
That's
and
right.
it just kills me. It is the best story. And then from that she gets Sound of Music and eternal fame, It's like it was meant for her. And this is sort of how that all started. This role that was sculpted for her and then held for her and shot her into stardom, So obsessed for that reason. And then of course all the songs we've been humming since we were 4, and they're so timely, and I think all of us related to those kids, and we wanted to have somebody like her in our lives somehow. And we all have issues with our parents who don't understand us and who don't understand that we want to grow up into something that maybe isn't them. And we all needed a magical nanny to help us go through that.
Yeah,
and help
I
us
still need a magical nanny.
Yes, right?
Well, and I feel like Disney is so they're infamous for their animated musicals, but a lot of their live action musicals leave a lot to be desired. Bedknobs and Broomsticks has a couple cool songs in it, but it's long. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Well,
it's a long
Mary
movie.
Poppins is long too.
But there are songs that I could easily skip in Bedknobs and Broomsticks. But Mary Poppins, I think, is a flawless live action movie. It holds up every single time. Every song works for me.
Really? Weren't you just complaining about the dance sequence
Well,
on the rooftops?
no, you were saying that
here
it's
we
2
go.
hours long, and I said, well, I
Here
mean,
we
the
go.
step in time dance part is 15 minutes long.
It is. That movie is
It's 2
so
hours because of
amazing.
this scene. It's so cute, though.
It's adorable. Them
Yeah.
dancing on the roofs, it's great.
Yeah.
But 2 hours. I'm old now. I can't be doing nothing for 2 hours.
It is 2 hours and 19 minutes. I just
Yes.
watched it the other day to prep for this, and I was like, good Christ, this is long.
That's what we were talking about it the other day. We were like, we gotta watch, and I was like, oh my god, it's 2 hours 20 minutes. I can't do this.
I'm gonna
I
take a
have
day.
a
Take a day off work.
bedtime. I need to be asleep by 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
What's happening? So yeah, but no, I totally agree. We grew up with that film. I mean, I still want a magical nanny. Without this movie, we wouldn't have Princess Diaries. It wouldn't be
that
quite the
is
same,
magical
at
as
least.
well.
Yeah.
Which launched, in my opinion,
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
So there's just so much.
Thanks
you know,
to Julia Roberts.
Mary Poppins has done a lot. So
What
kudos to that. Go
I was
ahead.
just going to say something about Tim. You mentioned, about how when they offered the role to her that she was pregnant, and they held the role for her until she was ready to actually film. And one thing that made me think about is how would Julie Roberts or
Julie
Roberts?
She wouldn't have.
Sorry, second bourbon for the night. How would Julie Andrews have done that role had she not just gone through pregnancy and become a mother? Because that motherly figure in her is so prominent in the film, but also
Well,
that youthfulness.
It's there, but she's still playful and sassy, and that's why we love her so much. So
I
she's
forgot
still
about
got
the snark. When I was a kid, I missed the
tons
snark.
of it. I mean, I am that way today. So I was just like, you know what, Mary Poppins, I got you. But yeah, no, so originally I think Disney wanted Angela Lansbury and Cary Grant to play Mary Poppins and Mary Poppins and Bert. I almost said Dick Van Dyke, but that's who they wanted to play those characters, and which would have been weird because can you imagine Mrs. Potts being Mary Poppins?
But she kind of was in Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Well,
Yeah,
we
but
don't
that's not
talk
Mary
about that movie.
Poppins, Matthew.
I'm just saying, they are very
God.
comparable movies.
But just Mrs.
Tim keeps
Potts.
giving me a look every time I mention Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I feel
I
like
love it
he's-
so much. I'm so sorry. I fucking love Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I'm sorry. She's a motherfucking witch, and she has a sidecar, and she fights the Nazis or whatever. It's just it's I literally because But again, Angela Lansbury could also hit me with a bus, and it would be fine.
Mrs. Potts.
And look, don't get me wrong, because I think that Age of Not Believing is one of the most underappreciated songs out of any Disney thing. But I also think that Portobello Road is a 25-minute sequence that I don't need in that movie.
But it's so, I don't know, it's so good. Maybe I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe I need to revisit now with an adult.
The parts that you loved are still there, but there's a lot of parts that your childhood mind just chose to ignore while you were watching it that's still there.
We do a lot of that.
Mary
on this podcast, we revisit old films we haven't watched since we were really little, and then we're just like, wow, it's so different as an adult. It's like, this didn't hold up, did it?
That was like what Mulan was one that we talked about.
Mulan.
That was tough.
Oh my God, Sleeping Beauty. What
Awful.
a fucking tragedy that was.
Awful. Awful, Tim.
It's so bad. Have you watched Sleeping Beauty lately?
No, and this is a shame because I love. Here's the thing: I always say that Sleeping Beauty is my favorite princess. Is
Why?
it because Prince Philip is the hottest prince, though?
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
So I'm recognizing that, and we're only there for Maleficent, and we're only Sleeping. Aurora is the worst character in the entire film. We all recognize it.
Yeah, she is the worst. Maleficent is this petty bitch, and I feel like we all can relate. 'Cause she's mad. Like, we talked about this on the podcast before, and I fucking love Maleficent because she's mad she wasn't invited to a party, and I can relate. Because like, God damn it, you didn't invite me. I'm going to curse your newborn, and you need to hide her in the woods for 16 years, bitch. Like, get on it.
Yeah, I totally get that. And like, I'm not going to come to your party, but I want to be invited still.
Exactly. And it's like
I'm too tired. I'm busy.
You're more apt to show up when you're not invited than when you are. So it's like, if you really don't want me there, invite me, and I'll just be like, my dog's gotta eat that day, so nah. But if you don't invite me, I'm like, I will clear my fucking schedule. I will starve my dog and be there.
Yes. Oh my God.
But
Absolutely.
anyway, yeah. So some movies don't hold up. So you should
Right.
rewatch Bedknobs and Broomsticks. It's great.
Yeah, report back.
But even going back to Mary Poppins and watching that middle section, there's like a 25-minute stretch where I was like, yee. It's like all really bleak, and it's I don't know, the
Is that the
dark
Feed the
streets of
Birds?
London.
See,
Yeah,
I
the
love the
whole
Feed the Birds
section, the bank section. And like, I get why the bank section is important. I do get it. But I feel like we could have done that in like 90 seconds.
Yes.
And not 90 minutes. Do you know?
Yeah, I feel like that's very that's a pattern for like older Disney films. Like, they just needed to fill all this time, so they just kind of drug things out and did very unnecessary things to get like that feature length. And it's just like, you could really just wrap this up.
That's so interesting, because if it's like a family film, what kids are sitting down for 2.5 hours and making it through that bank section? No one. You know
Well,
what I mean?
in all fairness, we probably did as kids.
That's
Yeah.
the pee break section.
I guess so. I feel like I must have zoned and then came back at Step in Time. I must have like gone to
There
play
it
my
is.
Game Boy real quick and
Step
come
in Time.
back.
Yes.
Well, yeah, there's so much of it that I didn't remember. And like, oh God, I was so little. And like, now I watch it as an adult and I'm like, oh my God, the banker dies at the end? Like,
Yeah.
I had no idea. And so
And let's not even talk. Not only does the banker die,
He dies
but
of laughing.
He dies of laughing, and it's presented as like the best news in the world. He's like, he died, so you can get your old job
yeah,
back. He's
they're
like,
just like,
"Yay."
woo. And I'm just like, that's bleak. But like, as a kid, I'm just like, yeah, this is fucking great. Jump back into the chalk painting. I love it. And
Well, I didn't understand what the fuck that Mrs. Banks was fighting for all the time. Why was she marching all the time? What, she just
what's the
has
suffrage movement?
restless leg syndrome and she needs to march? I don't know.
Well, I
no,
was
I
the
do.
same way. I was like, women can vote. So like, what?
Well, that's one of the interesting things, though, because that came out in what, mid-'60s?
Yeah.
Which was a very different time for women. But
Was
what's
it?
interesting...
I wasn't alive then.
Yeah, hun.
Yeah.
Women didn't
Take me
have
back. Tell me about
near-
women's lives in the 60s.
Didn't have near the
Well,
rights.
So this movie takes place in what, 1910 in London?
Yeah.
So that's like women's suffrage.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
and so what's so interesting is, one, I think it's interesting that we've talked about this before on different podcasts relating to Walt Disney and some of the themes we've seen in movies where women are
Strength is so
downplayed as
bad.
being kind of dumb damsels in distress, kitchen workers, and that's about it. As far as their ability, or
What about, like,
cleaning,
maids?
or
Yeah.
or singing to animals,
Nannies,
frilly little silly
singing
girls.
to animals. I mean, I do that. That's true.
But it's
we do
interesting
that.
they do this piece about women's suffrage and this
Mm-hmm.
character who has that kind of focus and that initiative in herself. But
Well,
then watching
yeah.
the movie, anytime that she's challenged by the husband, she's like, "Yes, whatever you need."
Yes.
And it's like,
that's
so what's
exactly
the
what I
fucking
noticed.
point?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
I
a
think
slap in
that's like the
face.
great thing about Mary Poppins, because she just like kind of tells Mr. Banks how it is.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, I think it's also interesting that this movie. You think that this would be one of those movies where they present everything super normal and ordinary until Mary Poppins shows up, But it's kind of fantastical right out the gate with like the neighbor that shoots off the cannon every hour, and like everyone has to prepare for it, and they're like holding all
Which,
the
as
valuables.
a child, I didn't think was weird. I
Yeah,
was like, yeah, your neighbor shoots a cannon.
Normal.
All right, I buy it.
I love
His
that
house
character.
is a boat.
Yeah, he's a pirate. It's totally okay. He's a Civil War veteran living in London now.
Yeah.
He's fine.
He has clear PTSD.
Yeah, right.
It's a lot of layers under that.
But I also love like Bert's constant changing jobs. Like he has a different song introducing what job he has for that day.
That's kind of because he's like the embodiment of several different characters from the book. So there was like a one-man band, there was like the chalk artist, there was the chimney sweep. They were all different characters in the book, but they couldn't do that in the movie. It was like it was just too much, so they wrapped it all up into one with Bert.
But I think it makes it more entertaining. Like I like way more like this one weird guy who works like 5 different
Is he weird
jobs.
or is he just talented?
He's very talented.
He's
but
super talented.
I love his little poems. Like there's these moments like when he's telling the poem right in the beginning when he sees like the wind blowing and it's like the I can't remember, it's like the winds in the east and whatever. But then he has like a weird poem in the middle of Chim Chimery as well, where he's like where he's talking about like, you know, where there's hardly a day and hardly a night and stuff like he's got this very poetic soul mixed into just like loving to do a little soft shoe.
Well, yeah, I mean that's people have dimensions, or as Shrek would say, layers.
We don't.
So-
we talk about Shrek too much.
We do talk about Shrek all the time.
It's our favorite non-Disney thing to talk about.
It is Disney.
It's an honorary Disney film because it's so good.
Yeah, it's a work of art. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Speaking of Dick Van Dyke character,
I thought you were just gonna be like speaking of Dick, and I was like, oh,
We're going there.
let me finish. Let me finish this cup. We'll talk all about Dick. So, you know, through some of my preparation for the podcast, you know, I looked up a lot of different things and like theories and whatnot. And the one thing I thought was interesting was they talked about his character and about how he had all these different jobs. And, you know, back in the day, that would have portrayed that he probably was having a tough time making ends meet, or that he was just kind of a free spirit type person.
like a gypsy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a vagrant.
But they had another theory about how, you know, he was maybe a child who was nannied by Mary Poppins, and that's why
I
he
thought
embodies
that
so
was-
much of those similarities
Yeah.
of her, because he that stuck with him in life, and he kind of carried that through to adulthood.
Yeah, that's always been my theory, was that he grew up with Mary
Well-
Poppins in his life.
Tim
Riddle-
face, I love it.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
Oh, so smart. I've never thought about this in my entire life.
Well, because he's like played as a love interest at points
well,
too.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
But, like,
Riddle
Mary
me
Poppins-
this:
yeah.
why is he romantically?
Who didn't have a crush on their babysitter
Yeah, I had a
when they
crush
were
on my
that age?
babysitter.
my
That's
babysitter?
right.
Well,
and Mary Poppins very kindly like puts him in the friend zone through song. Like she's like, it's
that's
a great
what I do.
holiday. Yeah.
I'm just
It's it's a great
it's
holiday being with
jolly
you,
holiday,
Bert.
honey.
There's the one song though where she says something about, or he says something about.
They allude to a romance.
Yeah, they allude to like a previous time that they knew each other. But then, in addition to that theory about him being a child that was nannied by her, they talk about how he's secretly the banker's
That's some
son.
Freudian shit right there.
That he's the banker's son, though. And that it's like kind of disownment kind of thing, because when they mention him, when she goes in to talk about with the banker, like the furious and the anger he gets. But they talk about how, like, you know, Mary
my
Poppins
God.
was his nanny, but you know, he didn't follow.
well,
what
yeah,
his
if he had a
parents and stuff
nanny, he
wanted.
would come from a wealthy family.
Yeah.
Yes, which makes sense.
Yeah, like the
but
banker.
he didn't follow them. He took a free-spirited, happy-go-lucky lifestyle and
See,
kind of.
Well, but that's the thing.
the
Mary
thing.
Poppins isn't there for the kid. She's always there for the parent, and it didn't work with Bert's dad. Mm-hmm. But he's still learning to like be whimsical. I love this. I love this theory.
but
This
this
is
is
the movie I need to see. This is the sequel we want.
yeah, but it kind of
Is that going to be the sequel?
No, or the prequel at the very least.
Lin Manuel
Ooh.
Miranda and Emily Blunt.
Don't go fucking Star Wars on me.
Girl.
I
can't
need
get prequels.
explicit images of their rendezvous. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
I need to see it. I want to see it all happen. I need an
Yes.
X-rated Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Oh, can you
And I
imagine?
need-
I'll take a look on Pornhub tonight and see if I can find anything.
Please,
on
oh my god! I bet somebody's done it.
Can we have a Lin Manuel lookalike, just like railing an Emily Blunt lookalike?
Mary
Oh my
popping up in that
God.
puss.
Oh my god!
What a fucking dream!
Right?
know.
It would be a fucking jolly holiday this Christmas if we could get that.
Seeing Julie Andrews in a porn would be Christmas.
No, I don't want to. She's just like...
No, I want
No,
her to come out as
she-
some fucking dominatrix.
No, she would, but I don't want to know about it. It's like she gives hints that she does that, and I'm just like, "Ooh, Julie, you bad bitch." But I
She's
don't.
like
I
pulling
don't
all
want to
these
see it.
toys and stuff out of her never-ending bag. Whips.
What if she like whipped out
Harnesses.
this giant fucking dildo, and she's like, "Oh, never mind about
So I
that."
just Googled Mary Poppins porn,
Oh my
and
God.
the first thing that comes up from Pornhub is Mary Poppins pissing on some German prick.
She's being witty.
That everything we didn't know we needed. There it is.
Mary Poppins
Oh my
pissing
God.
on some Jewish or
German.
German. Sorry.
The very opposite.
Opposite of that.
The opposite of Jewish. German.
It's the German coming out in me.
Oh my God! Take this out.
I'm
before
also
we just
Jewish
get-
though. It's okay. It's okay on both.
The hate for Germans is allowed. We all let it go. The
Yeah.
hate for Jews, that we can't have that.
No.
Because of, what happened. But then
Yeah.
somebody says we hate German people, and you're like, that's fine.
We're like, yeah, we get that.
Producer Matt ends up
we
having to cut a lot of things we
Yeah,
say.
yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, so
So-
back to Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Music. Let's talk about the music because
Ooh.
we only touched on
First
it.
of all,
Favorite songs.
I would like to talk about the music really quick.
First of all,
But
listen.
whoa, there's
Brooke.
a bottle of bourbon right there. I didn't even know.
Producer Matt brought it in.
Oh, thanks, producer Matt. This is why you need a producer, Tim. They bring
Yes.
you the alcohol. I want to just talk about this really quick. This is my shining moment with Mary Poppins.
Get it, girl.
In fourth grade, we had a fourth grade play, and it was Mary Poppins. And I just want you all to know that I played a pigeon during the Feed the Birds segment. So watch out.
Stop.
I'm pretty much like
hon.
I'm the next Idina Menzel. So
Your starring turn as a pigeon.
yes, I. But then I
when
went
you
to
said
fifth
that,
grade.
though, I thought
No,
a penguin. I was
no.
like, oh, you were in the Jolly Holiday
No, I was a
dance sequence.
pigeon, just being sad. But in fifth grade, I had a singing solo. I was also a narrator, and I starred as one of like the main characters in the play. So
Hell yeah.
So just so you know,
So there
that
was a
pigeon
lot
was a
of
launch
growth.
pad.
Yeah.
I did a lot of stage crew, and the only acting I've ever done on stage was I played the masochist in Little Shop of Horror in my junior
I
year
also
musical.
I emceed a ton of like shows throughout like middle school and high school, and I did like the morning announcements in high school all the time.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's
Yeah.
all.
Listen.
I'm pretty lame after that.
Your first role was at least alive. Mine was
A
Wizard
pigeon.
of Oz, and I was one of the trees that threw a fucking apple at Dorothy.
That's a great I would love to throw an apple at someone
That's
and
a
like
good one.
it's okay.
How about you, Tim?
The
What was your
second night I
first?
threw it off
What was your
stage.
first
Tim,
moment in musical
yes.
theater?
Oh my God, I was in Aladdin Jr.
What?
And I was one of the three suitors who comes to win Jasmine's hand, which like doesn't happen in the movie at all. They decided to put it into the play. It's fine. Literally, that's made me so mad. Nobody knew who the fuck I was because I'm not in the movie. And I like showed up and had like some muscles, and I like lifted a dumbbell, and I was supposed to impress her, and alas, it didn't work.
Oh, it works on me.
Does it?
Yeah, I've got 5-pound dumbbells in my closet right now. If someone was just like to come in and lift that, I'd be like, "You're the one." Sold.
She's creaming her pants over here.
Yeah,
These
it's done.
5-pound dumbbell
Whoa.
lifts.
5-pound dumbbells.
I get it though. I get it. People are like, "What are you looking for in a man?" And I'm like, "A man." Like
Yeah.
at this point,
It's a man that can lift a Chipotle burrito. That's what I'm
With a
after.
primal grunt at the end.
Yes. Tim, take us away. Lead us into discussion.
Best song.
Okay. Best song. You know what? Here's the thing. Since seeing Saving Mr. Banks, now my favorite song is Let's Go Fly a Kite. It's like, it makes me want to skin myself alive and cry, you know? It's so good. It's so good. And now understanding the reasoning behind it, you know what I mean? Like now seeing it in that new light, it like makes me really emotional. But otherwise, I don't know.
Most
Jolly
nostalgic.
Holiday and the dance break with the penguins is like so fucking cool.
I know.
You know?
That's
It
probably
is.
I think Jolly Holiday is it's my favorite fun one, and then I really do
I
love
mean,
Feed the Birds.
I-
I think it's just a very emotionally
Of course.
well written song. Like it's a beaut, but that's like the Sherman Brothers were so good at.
They
like,
wrote all
really
the songs, didn't they? for
They
Mary
wrote all the
Poppins?
songs for that, but they also wrote they wrote a bunch of songs for Disney rides. They wrote they were very good with like wordplay and creative wordplay, and I know that Feed the Birds was like Walt Disney's favorite song. And there's this really beautiful story of how like Walt Disney would just call the Sherman Brothers into his office at random times just to play Feed the Birds for him because it reminded him of like what he was dedicating his life to, of like making people's lives really
Isn't that
happy.
weird?
Well,
Wow.
no, the weirder part is when he died, they did a performance at Walt Disney World and a bird flew onto the keyboard while they were playing their rendition
Aw.
of Feed the Birds. And
Ooh.
the one Sherman brother was like, I swear it was Walt reincarnated coming down for like one last
I'm gonna
performance.
cry.
Yeah. It's,
Walt's not dead though because he's got to give us.
oh, that's right. We won the chart.
Disney
Yeah, well, you
World.
guys won Disney World. I
Yeah,
just
we
sat
won
here.
Disney World. You weren't a part of that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I actually really I do love Jolly Holiday, but supercalifragilisticexpialidocious and Spoonful of Sugar. Like, are we just gonna forget
Yeah.
about that?
Well, supercalifragilistic.
You're right.
I
Who can spell it? Spell it.
So like the chorus is so catchy, but I always forget how fun the verses are in that song too.
They're so fun. I remember being a little kid and I would think about those songs and like be doing chores. I'm like, this is fucking great. Like, I love washing the windows for my mom right now because of this song. I know it's like a weird manipulation to get kids to clean, but it worked and I fucking loved it.
I will say least favorite song. I love to laugh. Could do without it.
I don't even remember
That
Which
whole
one's that?
section makes me angry because I don't know why it's there. Like I get it, but why?
Cut it.
It's when they're laughing
You know.
on the ceiling.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're having like tea on the ceiling.
Yeah, and it's the guy who
Yes.
voiced the Mad Hatter is the guy who's like stuck on the ceiling.
well, of course.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a scene I could do without.
Did they ever explain why that is?
Because he was laughing.
Like they,
But you laugh
but
hard
that's not
enough.
normal.
But so
You've never laughed hard enough.
the uncle did that where he laughed and floated.
Yeah.
But then the banker dude.
That's
It's
how he
you
died.
you laugh, you hit a special level of laughing, and it's a euphoria, and you float.
Oh.
You float.
Or you drool like I do.
Yeah, it's like light as
When
a
I laugh
it's like
so
light
hard,
as
I
a feather,
drool.
stiff as a board, but with laughter.
I think they were just high. I think it was a metaphor.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean that's
it's a
you've
metaphor.
they
seen
were
for
stone
drugs.
blown.
like half the characters in Robin Hood.
Yes, we discussed
we talked
this.
about those fucking red eyes.
In your opinion, what's the worst song in Mary Poppins?
The worst song is probably Mr. Banks' song, right? I don't know, like not that it's a bad song, but it's like so boring in comparison to everything else, right? The one when he's like, at 6 o'clock I'm doing this, and 6:01 I'm jerking off, and 6:02 I have a pipe, and it's just like, why is that? I get it. It tells us who he is, but also the song can fuck off. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I would. Yeah, I agree.
I would too.
Yeah, I feel like if the song doesn't make it into the overture of the movie, then even they knew that it was trash. Like they're like, yeah, we don't need this in here.
Yeah. But I do love Mrs. Banks' suffragette song. I think
I
that's
do
super
too.
fun.
So because of the fourth grade play, I knew all the songs, and I used to sing that one all the time in the shower, just exclusively in the shower when I was in elementary school, and I fucking loved it. I don't know why. I just held on to it for the shower. I'd come back from the barn, and I'm like, fuck yeah, it's shower time. I'm gonna sing Mrs. Banks' song.
Yes.
And I would.
And also the cook and both maids, but the cook specifically is maybe the best character in the entire film, I think.
Oh, she's delightful.
She's hilarious.
I just old women are great.
Disney was very good
Yes.
at giving random side characters the best part of
No.
these movies.
I don't-
Always.
Yeah, agree. Agree.
Have a sip.
No.
Because the
Fun.
way that they are so nonchalant about all of the chimney sweeps just coming down the chimney and dancing in the house, like they're upset, but they're not freaked out by it is kind of
They
incredible.
just they're definitely shocked or what the, but we're gonna let this happen.
Dude,
not
she
gonna ask
tells
questions.
the dog that the position is filled. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? She very seriously opens the door and is like, we're not accepting applications to a dog.
So I would accept a dog's application. But is the dog an ode to is her name Nana and Peter Pan, the dog nanny?
It could be.
It's a little bit of an ode
I'm
to
trying
that
to remember if this was before or after.
because Nana was the babysitter for
Ooh.
the Darling children.
That's a
I
good point, because
did
we-
think about this because also the kids' names, Jane and Michael, are Peter Pan characters.
Yeah.
And when Mary Poppins first comes up and Michael has his mouth open, his jaw dropped, and she says, Michael, close your mouth. You're not a codfish.
Peter
I
Pan.
don't know. Peter Pan crossover.
And it takes place in England too.
Yep, and it was 11 years after Peter Pan came out, so
That's what I'm saying.
it
I
was
think it's
after.
a little ode to Peter Pan there.
They love their Easter eggs.
They
And,
do.
oh,
that's so
and
cute.
is the guy shooting the cannon, was he Hook?
Yep.
Do you see it? This is why we
No, wait,
need-
but you
the
need
guy
to tie it
shooting
to
the
the
cannon.
Sandersons, or your theory doesn't work.
Mary Poppins is a witch.
No,
There's
I
nothing-
was just gonna ask how this ties into Sanderson theory.
Mary Poppins is the nice ancestor, or no, descendant
Yes.
from the
Sanderson.
Sanderson sisters.
I like it.
Tim, do you
That's
know
what-
about our Sanderson sister theory?
Tell me.
Well, it's very complicated.
very
We need to
complex.
write it out.
Oh,
but
We're working on it.
We believe that every Disney movie ever made all ties back to Winifred, Mary, and Sarah.
Yes.
I
All
love
of them.
that.
No,
Like,
it's legit.
Why does Winnie
I
the
believe-
Pooh live in a tree that says Mr. Sanders on it? Because they just forgot the O-N. And it was
Sanderson!
their father
Oh my
living
god.
in the forest.
Why else are the animals
Yeah.
in a magical land?
Because the Sanderson sisters.
Sanderson sisters.
Binks could talk. Why can't Pooh? I'm just
I
saying.
love this.
What was the other one we came up with?
We just did it.
Was it in Frozen? We talked about Frozen.
We
No, I
talked
think
about Frozen. It was
Robin Hood, I think.
Robin Hood. We talked about something there. This is why.
No,
this
it
is why
was
we
Frozen.
shouldn't
Frozen
drink when we do
Frozen
this.
was the one where we decided that
Oh well,
you were
she's
gonna
an
win
ice
it.
witch.
Yeah.
Duh. We don't even need to try there. Ice witch. Done.
Duh.
We had so many.
Yeah, there's like a lot of ties. We have to go back through some of the episodes
Yeah.
and like
Yes.
start like mapping it out. But it's real.
Okay.
Because
It's real.
you've heard of the
We
Pixar
do-
theory?
Yes? Question mark, remind me.
Pixar theory is just like,
It's such a mess.
oh, yeah,
Tim.
it's some bullshit that all of it ties back to what, Brave?
No, boo.
To Boo.
Boo.
Oh,
from
that's right,
Monsters,
to
Inc.
Boo. Boo
From
is
Monsters,
some
Inc.
ancient character.
And she's just on a mission to find
Oh.
Sully. It's all fucking
crap.
weird, and like the animals uprise against the humans with the help of the machines and the cars.
Take
and
some
the
acid and
humans
watch it.
Blast to space. I don't.
What?
No, it's
I don't know. We have an episode on it. We kind of tear it apart. It doesn't make any sense. Don't even worry about
makes
it.
about as much sense as
It's-
Scientology.
Yeah, Sanderson theory, however,
The
Very
Sanderson theory
Catholic, very
holds up.
true.
It holds up. So I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
no, I believe this. You're really onto something here, and now I'm going to watch every Disney movie with that in mind.
You should.
It
It's
will
all
fuck with
there.
you though, so be careful.
Yeah, it's all there. All the clues.
I like it. They must be distant relatives somehow, at least.
Yeah,
Yes.
they have to be. I would like to talk about how they incorporated the animation with the live action. I was always so enchanted as a child when they jump into the chalk drawing. Like, it was almost like transporting into another world for me. I was absolutely enthralled by it. Thought it was the most magical shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, bigger than when Wizard of Oz goes from black and white to color.
Yes.
I was just like, oh, they're in cartoon land. So, like, how did that affect you as a kid? Like, did you have the same reaction?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the first time we probably saw that happening. You know what I mean? I mean? We were like, oh my God, I could be in SpongeBob or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
The first time
Yeah.
we saw not just CGI or not just green screen or whatever all that shit is, but like a real humans in a cartoon world. That and probably Bedknobs and Broomsticks, right? Was the first time
Yeah.
we saw that as kids, and that was so thrilling. And having humans interact with animals, but like it wasn't all animated. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It made it more visceral, maybe more real to us.
Yeah.
I think it kind of led the way for, like, what's the fucking Roger
Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, I fucking hate that
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
But it, like, led the way for that
say
and
that.
Space Jam.
Absolutely.
Space Jam.
So I
Damn.
will say, like, I think that Mary Poppins is very seamless with it, and I think that
seamless.
And I think that like Who
a
Framed Roger
buzzword.
Rabbit does it even like tighter, where it really does feel real. Rewatch Space Jam; it definitely feels like, oh, these aren't two things in the same location.
If you
Matt,
ever
stop talking.
if you ever
Shut the fuck
diss
up.
Space Jam again, I will personally light you on fire.
Just so you know, Matt, I had the Space Jam spaceship.
Yeah, he had the spaceship.
What?
Don't question. You don't know what that was? Tim, do you know what the Space Jam spaceship
Yes,
was?
yes.
Thank you,
100%.
hun. And the little rocket that the little green dude sat in that you could shoot.
Yes!
Yes!
Did you know that
Oh,
the Space Jam website's still up and active?
Why wouldn't it be?
Like, it's like a GeoCities website that like Warner Brothers built. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It has all the facts and
exactly,
stuff.
Matt. It's amazing. I would like to talk about the sequel a little bit. I know we're kind of jumping around a bit. Obviously, Emily Blunt is our Mary Poppins. If not her, who would you have wanted to see?
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Let me think. Probably like the first person that came to my head was Michelle Williams just now.
Really?
Michelle Williams, I love her. I just think she can do no wrong. And remember Greatest Showman? Even if you didn't like Greatest Showman, she can sing. And I think she's absolutely lovely. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe that was a bad answer.
No, I think
No, I love Michelle
I
Williams.
thought Michelle Williams was fun. I mean, I thought Greatest Showman was phenomenal, period. But she
Yes.
blew me away that she could sing as well as she could.
It's so surprising how many actresses like you just don't know can sing.
Well,
so
you said like Kristen Bell on the Frozen
on the
episode.
Frozen.
Like, you
Yeah,
had no
I didn't
clue.
know she could sing like that.
Oh, sure. And
Yep.
Kristen Bell did that Funny or Die Mary Poppins. She could be Mary Poppins. I would watch her as that.
Yeah, she
I
could do
would.
it.
I think she has
Yeah.
the right level of snark to her, but
Yeah.
she's also just so sweet, which is why I really
Yeah.
like Emily Blunt because she's sweet, but like you believe her sass and her snark. Like
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
like she's an extremely good fit.
And you forget
I agree.
that she's has such a good voice.
Yeah.
You know, because that doesn't come out a lot in the work she's done.
I also just want to ask
agree.
her about John Krasinski personally. We've established I'm a Lin-Manuel fan. I fucking love him. I kind of wish he had written some of the songs. I think that like hip hop vibe he could bring would be so fun. I trust that Disney did the right thing and it's going to be amazing. But I just there's a part of me that really just like longs for him having some kind of influence on the
I
music.
feel like whether it's official or unofficial, there's no way. Like, you don't have Lin-Manuel on set and not have him throw some input on songs. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's uncredited, I feel like he had to have been like, hey, what if we change the... Because he's so brilliant with words. And, like, every song in Mary Poppins is so whimsical with its wordplay. Like, you need a Lin-Manuel to sit there and be like, what if we change the verbiage just a tiny bit?
Yeah, I feel like it's just in his character to just be like, oh, well, what if we tried this?
Yeah.
And he's just fucking incredible. I didn't know he was going to be in this movie. So the first time I saw the teaser and you like see him ride up on the bike and like look up at the sky, I was just like, oh my God. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I had to rewatch it to like make sure I was like, I'm being deceived. Like I'm seeing
Yeah.
what I want to see. And no, it's him. And I cannot fucking wait.
It was you turning that corner and seeing Ariel all over again.
Oh, yeah. We just talked about how when I was at Magic Kingdom for the first time, there was like this empty line and I just like went down it because I was just like, yeah, fuck yes. And Ariel was right there and I jumped and squealed and grabbed my crotch. As you do when you see Ariel for the first time.
Yes,
So that's kind
absolutely.
of the same reaction that I had when I saw Lynn.
I love it.
In
You know
the
why
trailer.
he's the best too is because he is like a not only is he like a prodigy, but he's so kind. He's just so genuine, and I feel like Emily's the same way.
Yes.
And I think ultimately that's why they ended up being cast in these roles too. You know, they're
It's that
their
purity.
genuine kindness and humanness. You know what I'm saying? Like
There's
really
a real
exude-
humanity to them.
Well, I love
Yes.
like, there's the story of like there was a karaoke bar in New York and one guy went up there and did Alexander Hamilton, and you can find the video on YouTube where like Lin-Manuel was in the crowd and like got on stage with him at this tiny
would
karaoke
piss
bar
my pants.
and started joining for the song, and I'm just like, I love this dude. Like, he's so down to earth and chill.
I would
Like,
pee myself and vomit and just cry.
Yeah, all of that. That'd
And
be
then-
straight diarrhea.
Yeah, and then die.
Explosive.
He makes I hear he makes over $1 million a week.
Yeah, I believe it.
From like Hamilton, there's like 6 productions of Hamilton now.
Yeah.
Plus everything else that's going on, plus these movies and Moana, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's making at least $1 million a week.
I just want to be like,
Fuck.
Lynn, take me under your wing, pay my student loans. That's fine. That's a side project for you. And like, let's be friends. Let's do a drunk history episode together. My goal in life is to be on drunk history.
Yeah.
I have very big aspirations, as you can tell. And to just like tell a story about, I think I want to do something with the Civil War. I think that's what I've decided.
Nice.
the fact though that like Lin-Manuel makes $1 million a week or whatever, and he still just seems like a totally normal, down to earth guy, like screams how cool he is.
Yes.
Because
Like he still shows up to an interview in a sport coat that's too big and jeans that are ratty. And
Yeah.
tennis shoes, and he's
Awful
like, "Hi,
shoes.
I'm Lynn, and here I am." I can
Yes.
say it.
I just want to hug him.
So they did a great job with the cast. There's talent. There's
Well, okay. Let's talk about the cast.
The
We
main
know
cast.
we know there's Emily Blunt, Lin-Manuel, Dick Van Dyke. Who else is in it?
Meryl Streep.
Meryl
Angela-
Streep. Meryl
And
Streep.
Angela Lansbury.
Yes, she is
Yes.
back. She's in it. And so this is kind of, I think I for someone who's tried to avoid what the movie is about, I know that they're kind of going back to the Banks children, right?
Yeah, it's very like.
So it's Jane and Michael again.
It's very much like a Mary Poppins version of Christopher Robin. It
Yes.
feels like.
Okay, so
Yes.
who's playing Jane and Michael? Because the actor who played Michael died at 21
Ooh.
of hepatitis.
well, so
Yeah. He
He
clearly
got the
not
titus.
Thanks.
him. Was it Hep C?
Emily
I don't
Mortimer
know.
is playing Jane.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
is that familiar?
Let's see.
What was
Match
she in?
Point, Lars and the Real Girl,
Nope.
Shutter Island,
Yep,
Hugo,
that's
The
why.
Newsroom.
Island.
Shutter Island, Lars and the
Hugo.
Real Girl.
God, that's an old one.
And I don't know who this guy is.
I don't know. What makes me nervous, I think, is like Julie Andrews when she sings
Praise Julie.
is just this angelic, harmonious, warms your soul, lifts you off your
You
seat.
raise me up.
Yes, she's
so high
freaking
you
fucking
can
calling me to
climb the
heaven like it's damn
mountains.
end of the world shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can Emily Blunt deliver?
Well, that's the thing. Don't compare. 'Cause
I'm
I
not
feel
trying
like
to
as soon as you
compare.
compare, you're gonna set yourself up. You're gonna be disappointed.
But can Emily Blunt lift me as Mary Poppins the way that Julie Andrews lifted me as
I
Mary
feel
Poppins?
like it's going to be different because if you remember Into the Woods and watching
Yes.
Emily Blunt in Into the Woods, she wasn't like she didn't raise me to heaven, but she made my heart so warm, you know? She really warmed my soul. And I think it's going to be the same way. She's not going to be singing high C's, but she's going to warm you with that alto, you know?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
well, that's. I
maybe.
mean,
I can appreciate that.
You even just said that like Julie warmed your heart. I think that's I think that's almost more powerful. Like if someone can warm your heart, that's like a fucking like magical thing.
That's
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah, like and I think that's going to be the not the struggle, but that's going to kind of be the comparison point. Like, does Emily Blunt make you feel like those warm feelings of nostalgia for the original Mary Poppins that like we all grew up with? And I think she will. But like I said, I'm trying to go in with like no expectations and just kind of accept it for what it is and just let myself just like naturally like enjoy it or not, depending on how it goes. So
Absolutely.
but like Lynn's in it, so like I know I'm gonna like it. It's kind of already skewed.
And we know the visuals are going to be insane.
Yeah.
I hope they're not too tacky though. A part of me almost wants them to like kind of keep the original vibes of like the cartoon editing in there, because for nostalgia's sake.
Just
it
in
does
4K.
look like
Yeah.
there is some like them with cartoon character stuff in there, which is exciting.
Yeah, especially like the one preview I saw, the one trailer where they're like up in the sky and there's like the bikes and all the stuff
Oh
in
my
the
god,
sky.
I didn't see
Yeah.
all of
Why
them.
are you telling her these things?
Oh
My God.
It's like the Dumbo ride all over
Yeah.
again.
Did you
so-
get to ride the Dumbo ride?
No, because
No,
it's stupid.
Because I saw
Nobody
the Dumbo
rides
ride,
that.
and I wanted to ride it, and I was like, I remember Andrew told me that it was dumb,
Well,
and
when
now
we
it's
go-
ruined
yeah,
for
when
me.
we go in a couple
You tell
months,
me you
we'll-
look at that ride and
I
you were
wanna
like,
ride
man,
it."
that looks fun. Up, down, round, up, down, round for
You
30
tell
seconds.
Me, listen,
With 7-year-olds that shit in those seats.
let me live my life. I've been living a life of sadness for so long. Let me ride whatever the fuck I want. And if it's Dumbo this time, let it be Dumbo.
Let me just tell you, I hated it a lot more than Space Mountain.
Oh, I fucking hate Space Mountain.
Thank you.
I'll ride Dumbo with you, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
You would, Matt. You would. You know what? Just wait. When we're there in September, y'all can fucking ride Dumbo. And I get a fucking turkey leg and get a picture with
Tim.
Who's over there? No, I'm gonna get a picture with one of the characters from the Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'm like with Tim, 'cause
that's
he's the
over
character
in that
there.
realm.
Yes.
Gaston's over there.
Yeah.
Gaston.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, opinions, feelings.
I'm really holding out, and I like we said already, we're not expecting, we're not comparing, we're not doing any of that, but I'm really hoping that this sequel is going to be good, because not only is the original movie iconic, but Disney is doing this thing now where they're just like, remaking everything.
Yeah.
That's old rather than coming up with new things. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're doing these big, I don't want to accuse them of being cash grabs, but they're kind of cash grabs, you know?
Oh, they are. Yeah.
And that just like hurts a little bit. And everything that we've seen so far hasn't held up or hasn't measured up to what those originals did do for us as kids. So I'm really hoping that they've allowed themselves to actually make this film different. It's not a remake, it's a sequel, and to really lean into that and make it something different so we don't even have the opportunity to compare them, you know?
Right.
Just push it forward so much. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Although the new Lion King does look fucking awesome based on the trailer.
I'm pretty fucking stoked for that.
Guys, just be careful with fluffing it up like that because I'm telling you, Lion King.
But like it just looks so pretty.
The Lion King original is one of my
Well, yeah,
my
me too.
number ones.
Wait until they'll never do it because they fucking hate her. But if they did a live action Pocahontas, I'm gonna be like,
they won't.
I will be ready to rip it apart and be like, this is not the original. Well, let me tell you why.
But we definitely love to have you on again.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, you're gonna come back after you see the new Mary Poppins. We're gonna discuss it, give our feedback, our thoughts, feelings, whatever. You have to be here for it. That's just a rule.
Please.
And let us know what you're drinking that night. We'll try to match.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, good idea. Good idea.
No, we'll plan it and we'll send him a bottle.
And make sure you have a producer this time to pour it for you.
You're right. I'll just hire a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Make him do it.
Like, I am not accepting this ever again.
Matt, can you help with that?
Yeah.
We need to make sure we have someone to pour his
for
wine.
him.
Yeah. Let me see if I'll go through my Rolodex for people in Atlanta and get them over.
God,
Yeah.
Tim, we are so
Oh my God, what
we
year
are
is it
so
that you have
sorry
a
for this.
Rolodex?
Rolodex. We're from.
Well, Matt
we're
is
90s
very old.
kids. Matt's not a 90s kid.
Kind of decrepit.
Yeah. But we are 90s children.
The fact that you're wearing Beats is baffling me right now.
Oh, I was like, what are you fucking talking about Beats for? Like, that's cool. And then I was like, oh, wait, I see what you mean. Because he's old. Why is he being cool? Anyway, Tim, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone listening, please go check out Tim on Instagram. It's at GleefullyTim. He's hilarious. You won't regret.
No.
I can't even say it.
Regret.
That's how excited I am. You will not regret following him.
Just fucking follow him.
It's fantastic.
Make your life better.
Absolutely look on YouTube for his Hocus Pocus.
Oh my God!
thing.
Yes.
Oh my God.
We posted it on our Facebook page
It's so good.
a little while back when you first released it. We posted it, so check it out there. It's so good. Andrew, where can they contact us if they are so inclined?
God, she did this on
I
purpose.
usually do this part, but now I'm switching it up. It's all the same.
Yes.
Just
Okay.
remember, it's all the same.
All right, everybody. So, if you need to contact us or just want to contact us or have nothing else going on in your life and you feel that you need an outlet, please, what are the options? Well, you can email us at DisNeatoPodcast@gmail.com. You can hit us up on our website at DisNeatoPodcast.com and email us from there and check out all of our videos and info. You can also reach out to us on Facebook, which is the DisNeatos group. You can also tweet us at DisNeato Podcast via Twitter handle. Or if you want to engage with us on the most prominent social media that's not Twitter, which is Instagram, you can hit us up at DisNeato. But if you're going to hit us up at DisNeato, please take a pit stop to follow.
No, it's at
DisNeato
DisNeato Podcast.
That's what I said.
No, you
No,
stopped
you
at
said
DisNeato.
Okay, so at DisNeato Podcast, but please take a stop and at GleefullyTim, click a
Yes.
follow, then go to DisNeato Podcast, click a follow, and like.
And actually, because we really fucked up and didn't mention this already.
Oh, God.
But if you're on Instagram as well, you
Oh, my
should
God.
go and find
I love all ears.
I Love All Ears.
So at I Love All Ears, they created two of the ears that I wore at Disney a few weeks ago. They honestly, like, this is not an ad. I'm not getting paid by I Love All Ears.
She is, though. She's
The-
lying.
No, I'm not. I wish I were. That
Lots
would be
of
great.
money.
They don't sponsor us, but
Tens
the
of
ears were
dollars.
seriously incredible. My Moana ears, I fucking love.
So-
They're so cute. Very sturdy, stayed on my head all day. Better than the other bullshit I got off Etsy.
but
Just raised a
they
finger
are all
at you.
fans. They are all fans of the podcast. And if you're buying on their shop, you can use DisNeato20 for a 20% discount on your purchase.
Yes, and as soon as she gets some Pocahontas ears up in there,
We'll buy 10 pairs.
they are mine.
Yes.
Tim, Thank you so much for being on.
Yes, thank you.
You were a delight.
You are amazing, and I.
Oh, thanks, you guys. You guys are both so fun and awesome. I really had such a blast being here, and thanks, producer Matt, too. I didn't mean to just say you both and not mention you just now.
Well, I'm so glad you did, though.
Yes.
What a bitch just now.
It's the wine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh my god! But really, thank you so much. I've had such a blast. It's been so fun.
Yes,
so. Let's be
us
besties.
too.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, bye.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But really, I'm obsessed with you. So thanks.
Have a wonderful night. We will talk to you soon.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye, dear.
I love it. I can't wait to hear it because I grew up in California, so I grew up going to Disneyland, and I just went to Disney World my first time 2 years ago, and it's like completely different to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's like a whole different world.
I was gonna say a whole new world.
A whole new world.
That's where we'll be.
That's where we'll be.
Hey, do you guys like horror movies?
I do.
Do they always have to be good movies?
No way.
I prefer them to be crap, personally.
Well, then you guys are in luck because Horror Movie Night is your expert podcast on both horror movies, good, bad, and gooey. It's just a show of three friends.
Two brothers and a friend, I think you would call it. But we're all friends here. You know,
We're friends. We're all
around.
friends here. We goof around, but we talk about movies, but we normally don't actually talk about movies, which is kind of weird. It's a weird dynamic. You have to really listen to understand it. But we put together a show every Friday morning. You can find our show hmnpodcast.com. We're part of the Geekscape Network. We are, we're good guys. You should check us out. We're good, silly guys. We're fun.
Please like me.
Please.
That's pretty much the impetus of everything we do, is to be accepted.
We want to be loved. hmnpodcast.com.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.